Good morning, good day, good afternoon. Hello, I'm John Withers. I'm the teacher of English 112. It is good to see you again here in the online class. I want to talk a little bit about context and rhetorical situations as we start on Module 1. Module 1 kind of reviews reading and writing to some degree. It kind of looks backwards to kind of reconnect you to English 111. And I'm sure that in English 111 that you've heard some form of writing to the audience and how the audience is the king of writing. We look at a communication triangle where we have one point being the author, one point being the text. The top of the triangle should always be the audience. You can have a great song, but if the audience doesn't understand it as music, they are not going to like it. You can write a beautiful play, but if the audience doesn't understand the structure and the themes and the messaging, then they're not going to like it. And they're just going to reject it. And the message itself is going to be lost on them. So, as important as the creator is and as important as the message is, it's ultimately up to the audience. The writer's job then is to take the message and craft it for the audience. The more we can understand the audience, then the better off we can be at crafting for that audience. Trying to write it to everybody everywhere all at once is a bit unrealistic. Focusing that audience and understanding the audience that you're focusing toward is important. So let's say you're going to take an environmental message, for instance. Let's take the message, let's take you. Let's take the environmental message. Let's say you want to revitalize recycling in Gaston County or surrounding area county. As many of you may know, if you're working in Gaston County, they have not done as large of a recycling program in the last few years as they once did. Let's say you want to revitalize that program. If you go into a school class, high school or college, community college class, and are talking specifically to science students, then using a little bit more scientific verbiage about why recycling, reducing, and reusing is important, going into water tables, conservation in very environmental science kind of terminology would be appropriate. If you take that same message and try to find a group of people elsewhere in Gaston County that may not be as scientifically minded, then you would want to back off those and go back to the slogans, the easy to remember slogans: recycle, reduce, reuse. It may be that you want to focus the message of pro recycling, let's recycle, a little differently into some audiences. For a science class, you may want to talk about the scientific benefits. For a non-science class, you may want to back off the science and look at other types of benefits for their life and appeal to them as people. One of the things that almost always works is money. Tell them you're going to save them money. Tell them that you need to invest a little bit more into this recycling program, but ultimately it's save them money in their consumer, because most audiences are reactive to money. And so thinking about the rhetorical situation, thinking about the audience, thinking about what you know about the audience should focus your writing. The rest of the unit this week we'll go into some notes about and look at about rhetorical situations and writing to the audience. It'll also provide you with some readings from across different types of online media so that you can see how different people have written to different audiences. Thinking about rhetorical situations and social media, particularly. Social media is probably speaking to a different audience than the Gaston Gazette's physical paper. The online version of the Gaston Gazette might be talking to a different audience than the physical version of the paper, depending on who uses those resources. So Gaston Gazette's Twitter, Gaston Gazette's online, and Gaston Gazette's physical paper may wind up expressing the same ideas, but differently to meet the method that the message is being transmitted, but also to meet the audiences that are slightly different in each of those three instances. And so for this, the communication triangle of audience, message, and author, message, and audience should be important, should be in your notes. And then as you go through the readings, think about how each of those 3 points is important and what fits under those 3 points. But more importantly, think about how those 3 points are connected in different ways. So go ahead and put that into your notes so that you can refer to it throughout the semester. This becomes a foundational idea that sadly is not as clear in the textbook as it once was. So as we move into 112 and begin this week, I want to start by kind of looking back at what you may have learned in 111, crystallizing a few ideas that become foundational this entire semester. As always, if you have questions, please reach out to me. I'm happy to provide more information in addition to the notes that are there in the lecture notes folder, in addition to the discussion boards and assignments. If you have any other kinds of questions about any of those components, please let me know. I will happily spend more time making sure that my audience understands the message this week. And as always, have a good day.